Ever felt like your bank account is laughing at you while your bills pile up like an avalanche? You're not alone, and today, I'm going to show you how I went from drowning in debt to building $100,000 in savings, all by mastering the art of smart budgeting. If you think budgeting means giving up fun or skipping coffee, think again. I'll walk you through real strategies that actually work for me, not just theory. Make sure to subscribe now so you don't miss any of my financial transformation tips and practical guides to building wealth from zero. 1. The budget that saved my life. It all started with a brutally honest look at where my money was going. I printed out 3 months of bank statements and highlighted every single unnecessary expense. It was painful but eye-opening. I created a simple budget using the 50/30/20 rule essentials. Once, savings. I committed to tracking every dollar. No app, just a spreadsheet. Within the first month, I saved $400 by cutting subscriptions, reducing food delivery, and planning meals. That momentum gave me hope. I celebrated small wins like sticking to my grocery budget. I realized budgeting wasn't restriction, it was empowerment. Every time I wanted to splurge, I reminded myself of the debt hanging over me. The budget became my protection. It told my money where to go instead of wondering where it went. I added a line for emergencies and one for dreams. I gave every dollar a job, and slowly things began to shift. 2. Side hustles that fueled my comeback. One income wasn't enough to break free. I needed extra fuel, so I picked up side hustles that matched my skills and time. I started freelancing on Fiverr and Upwork, offering basic design and writing gigs. On weekends, I drove for a rideshare company. I sold unused items on Facebook Marketplace and eBay. Each dollar earned was added directly to my debt payoff plan. I tracked side hustle income separately to see how much closer I was getting to my goals. The satisfaction of earning extra money without quitting my job was addictive. I learned new skills to improve my offers and raise my rates. Soon, I made more from freelancing than my day job. I reinvested some earnings in tools to grow faster. It wasn't easy. Late nights and early mornings became normal. 3. The 3-month emergency buffer. Before tackling my biggest debts, I built a 3-month emergency fund. I wanted a cushion so one flat tire wouldn't derail everything. I started with $100, then $500, then $1,000. I kept this fund in a separate account so I wouldn't touch it. I treated it like it didn't exist unless disaster struck. I cut back on takeout, entertainment, and even paused some subscriptions to build it faster. When my car needed repairs, I paid cash from the emergency fund, no credit card, no panic. It gave me breathing room and confidence. Having that buffer made me bold in attacking my debts. I knew I had my own back. No more financial anxiety over small crises. That peace of mind is priceless. It also made me more disciplined in saving and spending. The emergency fund was the bridge between broke and stable. 4. Debt avalanche attack strategy. I used the debt avalanche method to destroy high-interest debt first. I listed every loan and credit card, from highest to lowest interest rate. I paid minimums on everything else and threw all extra money at the top. Watching one debt balance drop faster than the rest kept me motivated. I tracked progress weekly to stay on course. Every time I cleared a card, I celebrated by doing something free like a hike or home spa night. I called lenders and negotiated lower interest rates where possible. I even moved some balances to zero-interest cards and paid them off before the promo ended. With every win, I gained momentum. I stopped adding new debt entirely. I treated my debt payoff like a game, and I was winning. By month 9, I was down to just one major loan. 5. Living below my means, permanently. Instead of increasing my lifestyle when I started earning more, I kept my expenses low. I didn't upgrade my apartment, car, or wardrobe. I kept cooking at home and buying used. I focused on utility, not appearance. I realized the flex wasn't spending, it was saving. Every extra dollar I didn't spend went toward debt, savings, or investing. I surrounded myself with content that promoted frugality, not consumerism. I avoided lifestyle creep at all costs. Friends questioned my choices, but I had a bigger vision. I wanted peace, not possessions. I set spending limits even when I didn't need to. That discipline became habit, and those habits built wealth. I found joy in minimalism. I needed less to be happy. 6. Automating my finances for consistency. Once I got stable, I automated everything I could. My paycheck was split between checking, savings, and investments automatically. Bills were set to autopay to avoid late fees. I scheduled debt payments to hit on payday before I could spend the money. I even automated my side hustle taxes. It removed temptation and decision fatigue. Every month, money flowed exactly where it needed to go. I checked in weekly to monitor, but rarely had to intervene. This system freed up brain space and reduced stress. I trusted the process. I built a structure that worked even when I was tired, busy, or distracted. 7. Financial education became my obsession. I read personal finance books, watched YouTube experts, and followed money podcasts. I wanted to understand how rich people think and act with money. I stopped blindly following advice and started questioning everything. I compared debt payoff strategies, saving methods, and investment types. I learned about compound interest and time value of money. I understood the risks of co-signing and borrowing. I joined online forums and asked questions. The more I learned, the more power I had. Financial education didn't cost me, it paid me. I avoided scams and predatory lenders. 8. Saying no and meaning it. I had to learn the power of saying no to things that didn't align with my financial goals. No to expensive nights out. No to birthday gifts I couldn't afford. No to loans, even from loved ones. No to guilt spending. At first, it was uncomfortable, but soon it felt empowering. Every no to something unnecessary was a yes to freedom. I explained my mission when needed, but I stopped apologizing. I stayed focused on the bigger picture. I avoided environments that triggered spending. I replaced FOMO with JOMO, the joy of missing out. I found low-cost or free ways to enjoy life. 9. Building credit without falling into debt again. After escaping debt, I knew I needed to rebuild my credit score the smart way. I used a secured credit card and paid it off in full monthly. I set a calendar reminder to never miss a payment. I kept my utilization low under 10%. I didn't apply for unnecessary credit. I reviewed my credit report every few months for errors. I diversified my accounts slowly and strategically. My score began rising steadily. It opened doors, better interest rates, approval for future investments. I used credit as a tool, not a trap, and I never carried a balance again. My credit became an asset instead of a burden. 10. Investing early, even with small amounts. Once I paid off debt and built an emergency fund, I started investing. Even if it was $50 a month, I treated it seriously. I opened a Roth individual retirement account and contributed consistently. I learned about index funds and compounding. I used apps that round up purchases and invest the change. I avoided trends and stuck to long-term strategies. My money began to grow passively. I felt excited watching the portfolio rise. I understood that starting small was better than waiting to start big. Every dollar invested today could multiply by retirement. Investing made me feel wealthy before I technically was. And that shift in mindset made all the difference. If this journey inspired you even a little, imagine what happens when you start your own. The truth is, becoming debt-free and hitting that $100,000 mark isn't just about money, it's about mindset, strategy, and taking one smart step at a time. You've got what it takes. Start small, stay consistent, and build momentum. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode that could change your financial future. New videos every week designed to guide you toward freedom, peace, and real wealth.